Alright, Kalimera from Cyprus, this is George. I'm doing a draft video. The theme today is release of dice. So I was watching my friend Jacob from Wager Release yesterday, and I noticed that when his dice landed, they were exploding, going to different directions a couple of times. So I picked up on that. I wish that I could do a case study on how to, minimize the after landing situation. Good morning, Richard. How are you? Today, what I'm going to try to do is try and see what my dice are doing and see how I can fix them using release. The release has two parts. It is the actual release of the dice. How do they leave your hands? Do they leave them being pushed, or do they leave them being dropped? And the other part of the equation is when you have the dice and you're actually doing your pendulum swing or whatever, you actually feel what type of force they require to hit the table, the back wall, and die. That's important as well. So I shall try my very best to show that. There is no betting going to be involved. I'm just going to break down the components again. In order for yourself to avoid as much as possible to push the dice when they leave your hand, they have to have enough velocity, momentum to carry them to the back wall. B, you have to have, sure Richard, go for it. Hi old school, it's good to see you. Richard, sorry I wasn't looking about the screen. Go for it. So I'm just going to talk a bit so that we don't waste time. Basically, you need to have enough velocity in order to build that memory muscle to send the dice to the back wall. You need to drill that velocity into your brain, because your brain usually will say there is not enough force to send the dice out there. There is not enough force. So it's going to either flick the wrist or push the dice. That's the two decisions that you can do based on which location your dice are, here or lower or whatever. Richard, I'm waiting for your question with bated breath. Just waiting for Richard to ask us something. I'm going to use a set 1315, which was something that the set that Jacob was using. 1315 with a cross 6 set. I should be quite comfortable with it, because a sister set of a V set, believe it or not, yes. So, still waiting. Okay, here we go. On your set up with pendulum swings and 3-finger grip, who to throw and land dice flat, how? Close to the wall. Okay, well, let's take a look. My landing zone. Don't know if you can see. When you drop the dice here, they have a bounce. But it's not the bounce that's going to send them up here, very high up. I don't know if you can tell. The bounce is good enough bounce to be considered okay, legit kind of table. I made sure of that because I have installed extra layers underneath. So when you test the bounce, and the dice are so bouncy that they come up to, say, the rail height, then you need to employ one landing zone, which is very close here. When you have medium bounce, anything further away is okay. The angle also which the dice are going to, you seem to get a lot of rotation. Okay. Dice flat close to the wall, right? My best recommendation, I don't know whether old school is going to agree with me or not on this, is when you throw dice, I recommend minimum contact with the wall, with the surface. The more contact you have with the surface, the more interactions, the more, the sharp edges are going to probably interact with your axis. The second thing is, so if you decide that it's going to be just one contact, hit the wall, come back, then you need to consider the length where you land the dice. For bouncy tables, I recommend very close to the back wall. Hit underneath the gators, forcing them down to die. Do not care about whether the dice fly out of the top. Do not care about that. It's not you who created those the table, it's the casino. So hit them here, come underneath, and come back down. For less than 10 out of 10 kind of bouncing, I would start coming back. The angle of attack, rather than coming here at, let's say, 60-70 degree angle, you start your angle coming lower and lower, because what you need to do is to go like so and like so. A high angle would actually come up and like so. We don't want that. We want an angle which to be reflected, to send it here and here. That's what we're trying to do. It's not that clear, but that's what we're trying to do. So some people say, well, 45 degree angle. Let's assume this is the angle that we're talking about. Because this is 90, so I would assume this is 45 here, 45 there. So somewhere here or here, anywhere in this area, you can work it out with practice. It's going to send the dice here, and again, the same result, they'll come down together. A lot of that actually depends on how you start it. A lot of that depends on how you release the dice. If you get a lot of rotations, what sort of rotations are they? Are they these kind of rotations? Do they open like so? Do they rotate within themselves? That means it's a push. You're creating that push. If you're talking about rotations or over rotations of one die as it travels, then you have a problem with grip. Your middle finger is not placed 50-50, and your index and ring finger are not equally aligned on your throw. And the last thing is that your thumb might be very low down, causing these two to react. So basically we try not to have too much contact with the die using the 3-finger grip. We're trying not to have much contact with that. We're trying to have equal distribution of 3 fingers across a line, an imaginary line on the dice. And we're trying to have 50-50 of our middle finger on each die. Now, I had this conversation with Sleepy the other day. He says to me, what if my thumb cannot be straight, because it is actually quite difficult to have your thumb straight. If you have your thumb high enough, it doesn't matter much, because it's going to just release, it's going to come back. It's not going to push anything. So it doesn't have a lot to do with the momentum, unless your brain tells you there is not enough force to send them to the other side. But that's just my ideas. Rotation, you can actually reduce rotations by, rotation the normal way like this is caused predominantly, I would say, by how you set the dice. Now, I used to set the dice like so. I used to come from here and start from dead start. My hand was straight above. I used to send them like this. Now if you do a slow motion of that, you will see there is no rotation whatsoever until these dice just hit the back wall. That was my throw. With a 3-finger grip, you start introducing a lot more spin, simply because you no longer hold them like so, but you hold them like so. So in order for them to release from your hand, they need rotations. And to go even further with that, there is more extreme examples whereby I do not subscribe to this because I don't know how to do it basically. You bring the dice here, but you never touch the felt. So your hand is even more skewed. So in order for it to complete the swing, it creates even more rotation. Now, if you want less, you have to come like so. If you want less, you have to start from a dead start. And that is the issue with rotations. The more rotation you want, the more you have to do your hand like so that it actually creates a momentum of rotation before the dice actually leave your hands. The less rotation you want, then you're going towards more of a dead start kind of thing. Bring the dice here and just push them out. So, all right, that was a bit off subject, but very interesting. Thank you for that. I never had to explain it actually, so I think it's a good chance to actually bring it and explain it to other people as well. I was going to talk about release, and this is why the camera angle is where it is. Release is very important, and especially brain function. Brain function interacts a lot at the time of release because it sends messages based on what the eye can see. The eye can see several things, maybe it cannot see 100% what it should be seeing. So you have to come to a point where you will actually have to start trusting the mechanics. Trusting the mechanics means that if I start my throw from a certain pendulum position, I know, because I've done it 2,000 times, it's going to reach the back wall, no problem. And I'm not going to let my brain interfere, either to flick my wrist to send them there, or to push the dice with my hand. Now, I'm preaching something that I honestly have not been able to master 100%, because sometimes during my videos you will hear me say push before the dice actually, create the result. I'm just trying to be honest, and I'm actually trying to record these instances for myself when I watch my videos back. I think it's becoming less and less of an issue, but still. And I do have that issue. I'm not perfect. I'm just one of you guys trying to learn. The only difference is that I think I have more tools because somebody told me to. These are the things that go wrong. All right. So we discovered that I can pick up from a straight position. I need to slant my hand. I need to have some pendulum swing, and here we go. The idea is to have enough momentum so that my thumb releases dice down. Or 5-9. Interaction with the right wall causes this 5 to happen. In one of my videos, I think it was Dice Grip, I said the why things happen, why, and if you do that, how can you correct them? Oops, wrong die. The correction I found for the 5 is this thing, the slanting of the fingers. It's going to send my my index finger higher. That's out. Kept it on axis, but it imploded the right die. Off axis 5. Thank you, Old School. I really appreciate that. But we're basically here to, to talk about things that go wrong and to talk about the case studies that I see every day when people throw dice, so that we can all learn from it. And I am sure somebody out there is going to correct some of my errors. I have had so much good feedback when I was going through a rough time with my my interactions with the right move. Dice out 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Heart 8. So this is on axis. There was a bit more trajectory to it, but still the release, I convinced myself, and it's a matter of convincing yourself that you have enough energy to send those dice to the back wall. What I've noticed on Jacob's table is quite a lot of bounce. There's a hell of a lot more bounce. And the other thing that I certainly cannot be judgmental about is the fact that I have never seen the starting. The tossing, I cannot see that. But what I can tell is that he's shooting from with the dice in the air, because I think the table itself is not a full length table. The only thing I would urge Jacob to do, if he can afford it, or if his room is big enough, to actually start from a position where the dice are rested somewhere. And there's another simple reason for that. Having a starting position which is consistent is going to help you interpret results in a more consistent way. So if I fly an aircraft with 100 miles crosswinds, it's not the same as flying the aircraft with 100 miles tailwinds. You need to actually have comparable results in order for your adjustments to be valid. So I'm just giving a stupid example, but basically you're trying to have as many of the parameters the same. Otherwise, what's the point? That's all. I don't know if you can see my hand stays up in the air. And I tried to do that. 1, 2, 3 is a drift. That's my interpretation. I call them drifts because it's a drift. So they were one off axis. That's okay. When you do your follow through, when you do your pendulum swing, it's always worth keeping your hand in place, perhaps obstructing your view. And the reason for that is this: if you start off, it's a brain thing, believe me. If you start off with the idea that I want to watch my dice land, what's going to happen? If your dice land in front of your hand, then your hand is going to move away. It's going to get out the way so that you can see what's happening. Well, you just messed with the follow through and perhaps the throw, because the throw may have well incorporated what your brain was telling you. So it will send the dice a little bit in that direction because you're so eager to see the result. And that's another thing that you have to retrain your brain. The only way I found that helps me not do that is actually count like an idiot. So I go something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the 1, 2, 3 keeps my hand up until everything is finished. The throw itself takes about 1 second, 1.5 seconds for everything to settle down. It's not too much time for you to wait. Nothing is going to happen. People are going to cheer or whatever. You don't care. You just do what you have to do. You're mechanics, basically. Right. I'm trying very hard here to focus on the task at hand, which is release. And I'm trying to release dice like so, and not push the dice, or release them with the force of my grip, or anything like, like a flick of the wrist. That's what we call it. Flick of the wrist. A lot of people do that. 95% of those people don't know what they're doing. Please, please, please stay away from these people. What it causes, I actually researched this. There's an unbelievable amount of mechanisms in this hand. There's like 6 or 8 different micro muscles moving this hand motion. If you're not trained to actually be precise in the way you're going to flick them out, chances are your dice are going to spin out of control and out of sync. Hey, geez, what's up, man? So please, please, please do not bet on these people, and do not be one of those people. Flick of the wrist looks great. It looks so fancy. It makes you look amazing. I would rather look stupid but hit 10, 12 every time, as opposed to looking flashy, doing my setup and doing all my mambo jumbo and this and that and the other. No, I don't need that. Simplicity, repetition, picking up, feeling comfortable, looking at my landing zone, thinking of my release and my follow through. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. That's it. And I don't get sevens. I'm sorry, Richard, I didn't mean to offend you. A lot of people are doing it, but it's a trick of the brain. It's the brain telling you that you do not have enough energy to send the dice to the back wall. So the simple exercise I think I mentioned yesterday is to train your brain, retrain your brain to communicate better with your eyes and your hand. Start throwing from here, very close, just to get the dice to touch the back wall. It's a difficult exercise. Then move further back. I do it almost every day now when I'm trying to deconstruct my throw. Just land them very close, and then further away, until you actually get to the point where this is my, throwing position. And then, you don't care about results, you just care that the dice actually touch the back wall. It's the idea of what is just enough. What is just enough? Just enough force to send them to the back wall. Just enough spin to stop them. Just enough grip so that they don't fall out of my hand at the wrong time. So, this just enough is something that was passed on to me. I cannot take credit for anything like that. And it makes a lot of sense. And I sometimes stop and say, okay, well, what is just enough? All right, let's slant the fingers. Just enough. Grip the dice just enough. Same starting position. Do our 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Touched. 415. There was a problem there with my what I did just now. My dice touched the felt as I was doing this. Came up, scraped the felt, and then came up again. I was just fortunate not to have something bad happen. And I don't think I pushed the dice. I managed to release dice up. 459, interaction with my right ball. People tell me why we just move away from that bloody wall and stop. They're just telling us interaction with them. That's not the solution. The solution is not to actually hit the wall. And how we do that is mechanics. I haven't been able to fix everything. I just fixed the grip by being slanted. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I pushed the dice this time. Guilty as charged. I was fortunate to have 1 3. So I think we're on the 4 now, although I haven't been really paying attention. Slanted fingers. Why? Because I want this finger to be a bit higher. No, a bit lower on the right die. Do my pendulum so that I have enough force to send them out and make sure I release correctly and follow through. Landing zone, dice out. 639. Did okay on the right die, left die is just going AWOL. The other thing I wanted to say, I say with the utmost respect to my friend Jacob, he shoots too fast. He just shoots too fast, the pickup is too fast. You need to actually start just slowing everything down and saying, am I picking up correctly? Is the spot where I'm picking up the same? Do I have a spot? And then when I go to my throwing position, am I picking the same starting position? Am I looking at my landing zone? Am I doing my 1, 2, 3s? Or whatever way he wants to employ. 3, 2, 5. So I wish I could actually get his permission to copy some of the videos and to show something, but then I thought it's gonna be meaningless, George, because I can't see the starting position, the camera. Hey Midnight, what's up, man? I can't see his starting position. And that is, I think, where everything creates the result. Dice up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 4. Same kind of 1, 3, 4 that got us to the 4. Created the point. But that's not the important part. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, my dice don't really overreact. There are the exceptions where they may kiss each other or, just land somewhere in this area and become more random. Those for me are my randoms. And I will openly say that, I don't have a problem. I cannot be unrandom every single shot. When I push the dice, I know I became random. When I release too high, I know I became random. Dice out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. These are the same. These are drifts. Both dice drifted. I don't mind them. They come in handy when you're on the ATS, but for the purpose of this video, let's assume that we know that we're going to drift. We can always go to hardware set and drift to the 4 as opposed to, the 3. Dice out. Thinking of my landing zone, my 1, 2, 3, my follow through, and my release. Dice out. Hard 4. Was not done intentionally, by the way. It was the same set. The dice settled. This is an explosion on my right die. So we now started exploding as opposed to imploding. What do I mean by that? This is the die. If you look at it as it travels down, I used to do this, the dreaded 5, now I'm doing this, the 2. So, still not there, guys. Still not there. And you can also see no 6 and 8. This is a hardware, this is a 3V set. So I must be doing something wrong. I could always correct it, just go to another set and it will be fixed. Dice out. 4, 1, 5. That is on axis, and I like that one. Same starting position, thinking of landing zone, my pendulum, my release. 1, 2, 3, 6, 1. So that was an explosion of my right and left die. 6, 1, 7. So you can see now 6s and 8s. Must be doing something wrong. Now for me to correct this, if I was at a casino, I would go to a set something like 2, 3, 2, 1. I always mention this set to people. Just do these 2, 3, 2, 1, just for the sake of making the point. It's an average grip, to be honest with you. I'm not very happy. Dice out. Three, 2, 5. That's our new point. 2, 3, 2, 1. That's axis. Dice out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 5. 3, 2, 1, and again on axis secondary. So that's that. Let's go to 2, 1, 2, 4. Another V set. See if it helps us with a 6 or an 8, 2, 6, 8 or 2, 4, 6. Dice out. 5, 3 will work. But it's a axis. So that's the first 8. We can always go to something like a 1, 5, 1, 3, which is 1, 3, 1, 5. Yeah, 1, 3, 1, 5, I think is a set that Jacob uses. It's a cross 6s set, perfectly fine. We shall try and see what sort of results we get with it. Dice out. 1, 2, 3. That's a 4, 5, 9. 1, 3, 1. So that's on axis. Okay. But it's a double pitch. Okay. 1, 3, 1, 5. So it was a 4 and a 5. Yeah, double pitch. Lucky. If I was on my side, it would be a yo. Dice out. Landing zone. Pendulum. Follow through. Release. 1, 3, 1, 5. Secondary on axis. 6. That's what I'm trying to achieve. I don't want dancing dice. You need to simplify the release. I believe the release is key. You need to simplify it. Single pitch, 1, 3, 1, 5. Dice out. 1, 2, 3. Hard 8. Off axis 8. So that's that. The set itself is not important at the end of the day if you repeat the mechanics, guys. What's important to me, it's absolutely essential to me, is the mechanics themselves, and to recognize afterwards that each set that you're using has a sister set. Richard, what sort of sets are you using, for example? I know Midnight Train uses the V set. I think 3V is particularly. What sort of sets are you using? Take your time, just reply to me. What I'm trying to see is, depending on what sort of sevens we get, and perhaps it's nothing to do with your mechanics, but more to do with the set that you're using. So, yeah, let me know what sort of sets you're using, and we can actually employ them here and see what we get. All right, we were on the 1, 3, 1, 5. So from that, what can we do? We can go to 1, 5, 1, 3, or 3, 6, 3, 6, 5, 6. It's the same set, just quarter turn rotated. Dice out. Landing zone. Pendulum swing. Follow through. And release dice. 3, 1, 4. That was an explosion of my dice. What was it? 1, 3, 1, 5. No, it's an axis. Sorry. Three V, 2V, 1, 3, 1, 5. I messed around with all sevens, which seemed to be best because I throw off axis. If you throw one die off axis, you're best served with something like a hardware set. The old 7 set is just another hardware set, just rotated, out of sync dice. So that's okay. But 3V, 2V, and 1, 3, 1, 5 have different characteristics. Perhaps you could stick to one set and record your results, let's say in Bone Tracker. If you want to have access to that, it's a free download on Excel, and record your results there and look at the transpose page where it's going to give you the results that you want, basically what sets are good for you. There might be something in the mechanics, you never know. You might actually be consistent in what you do, but you might not be able to realize it. So the set might be the cause of everything, and if you fix the set, that will fix a lot more things. That's the advice I can give from here. Let's go to something like a 35115. If we stay on axis, if we stay primary, we have 2 4s. Let's see, that's that. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3, 5 of axis. Have you tried the Bone Tracker? It's by Axis Power Axis. I'm not good with their name, but amazing piece of software. It helped me through in the beginning, and as you advance, you actually understand what transpose means, and you actually do it in your head. Two, 6, 3, 6. That's out. 2, 4, 6. 2, 6, 3, 6. Okay, so that's on axis. Which just puts us in another cross 6 set, which is the 2-1-4-1. Remember, what we're trying to do is get back to the 4, by the way. That's out. 2, 6, 8. Sorry, 6, 2, 8. 1. No, that's off axis. The 6 to 8, just take the dice like so. 6, 3, 2, 6. That's our new set. It's a 3V set. Dice out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this one was a what? 6. That was a double pitch actually. Okay. So I have to be a bit careful. So 1, 2. 1, 4, 2, 4. That's the new set. If we double pitch this, if our mechanics are true, we're going to get a 1, 5 or a 6, 2. If not, we hope it's not a 7. That's that. 4, 3. Double pitch again. Well, that's another, interpretation. Whoops. So let me just see. Hey, Ting, what's up? I don't have internet in my house. I'm on cell phone data. I don't work. Correct. They don't work. Thank you. Bone Tracker does not work on mobile. You're right. 18. What's up? So I'm at 44 minutes again. I'm going very slowly. I have 2 7-outs. 4, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 17, 20, 22, 24, 25. Exactly the same as yesterday. 12.5 SOR, SRR in this case. We expect to have setbacks. We expect to have early 7-outs as time goes by. But if we become better shooters, the early 7-outs should be, in theory, 1 out of 3 sessions. Those are the bad sessions, the 33%. As we become better, more and more confident in our throw, we can get over the 4-3. It happened. Let's move on to the next set. I'm gonna start with my set. Doesn't matter which set it is, to be honest. I found that out quite some time ago. It was a double pitch. In any set, I would get double pitch, and in any set, it would be a 7 dice up. Hard 4. That's what we were looking for before. Now we're noticing that the right die is exploding and close to imploding. So if I transpose very quickly in my head, I don't want 4s, I want something else. This comes from the inside. What do I do? What do I do? I go to something, I get 2-3 to 1. It's gonna give me 3-1-4. Whoops, 2-3 to 1. I said. It's gonna give me a hard 6. Let's see. Is this going to be true? Dice out. No, it's not. But the hard 6s were there. I don't know if you can see them from the side view. Hearts is so 5, 6, 2, 3. That was this one came up, so that's our implosion on my left. This one. First of its name. Let's go with this set as it is 5-3, 5, 6-3. Nice. It's 2V set. One, two, three. And 1, 3, 4. Brought us back to the 4. So I have a belief, it's a stupid belief, but I have a belief that if you want repetition, good man, thank you. I have a belief that this rhythm roll that we do brings you back to the point that you hit. Basically, you start off with a point. Within 4 rolls, if you rhythm roll, it should, in theory, bring you back to your initial set. I don't know if I marked it. Probably have. So let's start again with 3, 2, 3, 6, because we know how to interpret it very quickly, that's all. Dice out. 4, 2, 6. In this case, there was no push involved. Usually when I get a 4, 2, 6, I shout beforehand, push. Because I pushed the dice, sending this die like so and making it rotate. That was not the case. It was just a random roll. And I have to accept that there are some of those and wish for the pyramids to be in my favor. dice out. Ah, double pitch. Alright, I mean, this is, you should expect this. Nobody's perfect. We do expect to have at least one session, which is a short session, 0.7 out, or in this case, I think there was a couple of points. I don't think I was very, very vigilant on my middle finger. Something I'm going to do right now. Dice out. Hard 6. Well, you can't get more vigilant than that. So that's a primary hit. Dice out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10. 1 out to second. Slant my fingers. Pick up middle finger, 50-50. Same starting position. Look at my landing zone. Think of my pendulum swing. Think of my follow through and release. Dice out. 4, 2, 6. There was no push again. This is the interaction I'm talking about. Now I'm turning towards the 2 as opposed to the 5. (50-50) split on the middle finger. Same starting position, landing zone. Follow through, release. 1, 2, 3. 2. That was okay. 4, 3, 7 on axis, but still double pitch. Alright, that was a weird. Just interpret this. So this one was a 6 and a 3. So they actually were pushed and double pitched. Okay. Try and correct as much as we can. There was a few things wrong with it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10. Done like that. One, 2, 3. 2, 1 double pitch. Okay. I felt something when I was releasing that. One guy was leaving and the other one was staying behind. This is double pitch, guys. Two, 1, 3. Same as a 5, 6. That was good, that was good, that was good. 2, 3, 5, okay. Lots of axis. What's up, Burdock? Hey, Matty, what's up, man? Good evening to you guys. You're burning the midnight oil there. Release is the result of everything else, guys. of a good pickup, good grip, and a few more factors which need to be input into your brain before you even pick up the dice to throw them for 5-9. What I would urge people to do most of all is make sure that you take your time. Take your time to set your dice. Take your time to feel the dice are comfortable, the grip is comfortable. Look at your landing zone. Count your pendulum swing. 1, 2, 3. 5, 1, 6 primary. This is what I did just now. I shorten my pendulum swing. So I'm putting a lot more components into it as I go forward. And I got the result that I got. 5-1 is right here. It's okay. 1, 2, 3. Heart 6. Another primary. I'm going to shorten the pendulum swing now. Nice out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 6, 3, 9. Off axis 9. That was a result of bad grip. Dice out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 5-2. Come on. Did you have to come out to play? Sorry. I just want to see what's here. It was a 5-6. Okay, so it was a double pitch. So 5-7. I'm gonna do what Matt Slide Mac does now. Just gonna stop. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 6 doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. I need to have continuation in my 6-2. Okay. Let's try it again, just one more time. Let's give him some credit. He's a master shooter, so. One, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 6-1. Interesting. Okay. Doesn't work for me. Dice out. Too high, I would say. This one was here, 2-1 was double pitch. Okay. One more of those. Nice out. 4-5-9 interaction. I lucky? Let's see. There was no interaction. 4, 6, okay. Yeah, I was lucky, it was a better number. So bit on overkill, too high. It was a bit of flick of a wrist, kind of. 437. It was an over travel by my left. Alright, so we'll call it here. And we'll see what we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 16. 2, 4, 20, 22. 27, 30. 35, 36. 1, 2, 3, 4. 40. 42, 44, 46, 47, 50. Okay. 3, 6. So SOR wise, we are at oh god, 8 and 2, 6, 8.1, 8.33. SRR wise is 9, which is, well, should have gone to something like 54. Oh god, maths is failing. 36 is 4, 47, 45 is 5, so 50 is 5.5 ish kind of thing. Alright, Richard. Alright, I wasn't following the conversation. I ended up throwing dice as opposed to really doing much on the release, but it is an important element. Release like so, please. Don't release like so. Do not release. I don't know if I can show it here, which is closer. Alright, so guys, please, when you release dice, do not release them like with pushing the dice. Don't push them. You're spoiling the set before it even starts. Do not flip the wrist. Don't do that. It's a bad habit. Instead, try your best and you're going to release to just drop your thumb. This is what works. It does not interact in any way to spoil the trajectory. It just lets the momentum that you have created with whatever pendulum that you have dice. Don't throw them too high, don't throw them too low, things like that, you know. I made the mistake the last time I threw them too high. They traveled like so, but because they were in the air for too long, my left eye had the chance to over-rotate to the 437. It stayed on axis, which is nice, but over-rotated. Thank you, Midnight Train. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, sir. So on that note, and with great friends, I would like to say a big thank you. I know I don't speak too loudly. I'm just gonna do a test. I don't know whether it's gonna work now, but audio input capture. I'm gonna go filters, audio filters, and add some gain. So please tell me if it's better or worse. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's too loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just make a comment if you think that it's too loud. I just put up 6.2 decibels on the gain. Some people were saying that they cannot understand what I'm saying, what am I talking about, and I asked them very politely, is it my English or is it the microphone? And they said both, which I found to be very funny. There's only so much I can do about my accent. There's probably a lot more I can do about my microphone. Sounds good. Okay, thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna leave it at plus 6.2. Okay, guys, and on that beautiful note, thank you for your help and thank you for your custom. This is George from CY, and that's our